My name's David Bainbridge. I'm one of the two admissions tutors at St Catharine's College in Cambridge. We're very disappointed that you can't come and visit us on a real in-person open day this year, but instead we've prepared some videos to give you an idea of what life at the college is like and why you might want to consider applying to us. The first video, is really about the university decision. Why might you want to apply to Cambridge University? The second video is about the college choice and why you might want to choose St Catharine's. The third video is really about the nitty-gritty of the application process and also what we seek in our applicants. And the fourth video is about a few general perspectives we'd like to give you about access to education, the financial side of being a student, and also how the coronavirus has affected everybody this year. So, why might you want to apply to Cambridge? Well, Cambridge is a university you hear quite a lot about. Quite a lot of new discoveries and inventions and concepts and ideas come out of this university. We feature in the media quite a lot. We're often quite near or at the top of various league tables, however helpful league tables are. But why might you want to come here? I like to think that there's a few good reasons. The most important one is related to the interaction between teaching and research. There's a trend across the UK universities that the universities which are most successful in research, which is something that's quite easy to measure, are also the universities that students most want to go to be taught. You may think that's quite strange. You may think if we're spending all our time doing this cutting-edge academic research, then we won't have any time for teaching. But that's not really how it seems to work. For example, you've probably heard of the Russell Group of universities, the top research universities in the UK, and they also tend to be the universities to which applicants most want to apply and are most competitive. Why would this be? Well, I think it's partly because these cutting-edge researchers want to come here for the facilities, but also because of the bright, motivated students they get to teach. And those students want to come here because they want to be taught by those bright, cutting-edge researchers. So you get this virtual circle in UK universities between research and teaching. And we just like to think that Cambridge is really just a really extreme form of that. Another thing to bear in mind is the students you're being taught with. This is something that's often forgotten. An important thing about university education is that you're learning alongside other students. And at Cambridge you will be being co-taught, you'll be co-learning with the brightest and most motivated students that we could possibly get. And that really helps you see things a bit more deeply, and it helps you progress a bit faster as well. One thing you might want to bear in mind when picking a university is I think it's always good to apply for a large, well-funded, historically, university. Large universities have their own advantages. They tend to be diverse, then there's more people who you can interact with. But also the being well funded over a long period of time means that they've been able to acquire very good facilities to support their students, and in the case of Cambridge this has been going on for centuries. This means buildings to live in, it means things like libraries, it means things like sports grounds, all the things that make student life enjoyable. Finally, do bear in mind that when you pick your university, you're picking a place you're going to be living for 3, 4 or however many years. So it's quite good to pick somewhere that's a pleasant city or a pleasant place to be. And we think Cambridge is a pleasant place to be. Of course, there are other beautiful cities in the UK as well, but we like to think that we're one of them. People sometimes get a bit confused by the structure of Cambridge, probably understandably, and this is because Cambridge is a collegiate university. You come to the university and there's the buildings you would expect, the subject faculties, a few university buildings, but also these colleges scattered around the place. Why is this? Well, I wouldn't worry about this too much, but people have described Cambridge as being like a very skinny spider with fat feet. All of the sort of weight, the buildings, the resources, and indeed the activity is away from the centre in the subject faculties and the colleges. You don't need to worry too much about how the colleges and the faculties interact at this stage, but just be aware that I think most of our students and certainly most of the staff think that the collegiate nature of the university is really its greatest advantage, and we've certainly seen that in the current COVID outbreak. The university sets the courses which are available at the university for you to study at the university, however, and they're listed on this slide. Now, those courses, they may sound fairly traditional, I suppose. They are the sorts of names of courses that people in the street would understand what they mean, but that doesn't mean they're these unchanging monolithic things. They share papers with each other, for example, but most importantly, they evolve organically over time. Because if you come to Cambridge, you'll be taught by people who are really at the leading edge of their field. They just change their teaching every year as their field changes. It just happens naturally. So they're really the most up-to-date courses in the world. One thing you do need to do is make sure you're doing the right school subjects to apply for your chosen subject at Cambridge. This may be very important. For example, if you want to apply for medicine, you must be studying chemistry. However, there are other subjects where it's not very important at all. If you want to apply for law or archaeology, we really don't mind what you're doing as long as it is some good, strong academic subjects. So do check that during your selection process. Now, I'm going to draw some distinctions between what the university does and then in the next video what the college does. The university does the large-scale teaching. It does the lectures and it does, depending on what course you're doing, the practicals, the language classes or the field courses. But as we'll see, this is balanced out by what the colleges do.